This short story you're about to hear is terrible. It has no plot and no conflict, just two kids talking. These kids are named James and Carmela Grider. They're twins. They're 15. They went snowboarding. The fact that they went snowboarding is completely pointless to the story. While snowboarding, James became bothered by the idea that blackmail and extortion are illegal, so he complained to Carmela about it. Snowboarding had nothing to do with him being upset about this specific topic. "I can't believe society makes extortion illegal," James said. "This is wrong on so many levels. Why can't I come up to any random person and ask them for money in exchange for keeping my mouth shut about something they don't want revealed to the public? So long as I'm not threatening them with something illegal, like killing them, why can't I ask for money? Revealing stuff to the public about someone is not illegal. If I catch somebody's spouse cheating on their marital vows, why can't I walk up and say, 'Give me money, or I will tell your significant other that you are cheating on them'? Then see what happens. Maybe nothing will happen, or maybe they'll be stupid enough to ask me how much I want and reach for the wallet." "Because it's unfair," Carmela said. "It places people under duress. You're practically robbing them." "No," James said. "That popular belief is incorrect. I am not putting a gun to their heads. I'm simply telling them that I will do something that isn't illegal for me to do in the first place, unless they pay me. It's not illegal to ask anyone for money. It's not illegal to reveal someone's secrets. And they can always refuse to go along with it and have the freedom to tell me to go fuck myself. So what's the problem?" Carmela responded, "So you want to live in a world where everyone spies on each other's private lives, where scumbags spy on other people, and then total strangers threaten to hang out your dirty laundry unless you pay them? We'll constantly be stalked by sleazy private investigators looking for a payday. There will be entire businesses devoted to spying on people and then extorting money. You won't be able to make a single misstep. Look at the shit you do that you wouldn't want getting out, so why would you want something like this?" "Then so be it," James shrugged. "Then all my shit will be exposed. I don't care. But this is why legalizing death threats would fix the problem. Let's say a private investigator finds out you called sick to work, but you weren't actually sick. You just wanted to stay home to play the new Call of Duty. He threatens to reveal this fact to your boss unless you pay him. You tell the blackmailer to go fuck himself instead. So he leaks the truth to your boss. Your boss loses respect for you, but then you threaten to shoot up the boss's workplace if you're fired. Now the boss is scared and he won't treat you like crap. You also have to remember that you can extort others and counter-extort the extortionists themselves, so you have the same freedom as they do. So why whine and complain about being a victim when you can just as easily be the victimizer yourself? The only reason you're scared to counter-extort the extortionists is because you are more afraid of the law than they are." "I don't see anything good coming out of legalizing blackmail," Carmela said. "Imagine you're a man who fights with your girlfriend and you break up," James said. "As a man, you're seething in rage, so you call up your ex-girlfriend and tell her to pay up, or you'll leak her nudes online to get back at her. You do this because you're angry. So then she calls the cops and you end up in jail for what you said. How is that fair that you try to get back at someone you hate, and no matter what you do, you end up losing out because of the law? Also, this way it gives the girlfriend a chance and a method of preventing her nude pictures from leaking online, whereas the guy could have still leaked them without giving her an option to stop it from happening. If I am mad at something unfair, it's very hard to restrain myself from using threats and extortion, because those things they're just spoken words. I don't understand how can the government make a series of sounds coming out of your mouth illegal. I don't like this, Carmela said. Blackmail is horrible. There was a nun who had sex with a politician in exchange for him donating money to her monastery, so it can be used to help the children being raised there. If the church found out, this nun would have been kicked out for breaking her vows. Some fatso took pictures of them having sex and threatened to expose the nun to her church. She would have been kicked out of the church and the donation rejected. But she could have threatened to kill the guy in return if he leaked the photos, James argued, or threatened to shoot up her church if they kicked her out of it. But she's a very nice person and couldn't behave like a thug, not even against another scumbag, Carmela said. I don't care who wants or doesn't want to be what or how ugly legalizing extortion will make society become, James said. Nothing anybody can say out loud should be illegal. And if society genuinely cared about victims of extortion, no institution would penalize a person based on some fact a blackmailer dug up and presented. That nun's bigger problem lies with her shitty, intolerant fucking Catholic Church than the blackmailer whose name was Richie Cordova, by the way. She should have, in turn, been blackmailing the church herself to make them change how they treat people. The God she worships is a piece of shit, too. And like I said, you can always tell your blackmailer to go fuck himself. It would just be so fun to go up to random people and tell them, hey, I got pics of you jerking off that I will leak online unless you pay me. And maybe some fool somewhere will finally part with his cash, even if you don't have the actual pictures. I value being able to say any words I wish to anyone, in any order that I wish, more than I care how these words might affect society in the long run. James always likes to come up with solutions for what he considers to be wrong in society. So now he started speaking his solution. My suggestion would be, he said casually, kill the cops. Don't feel sorry for any police officer that dies. If you got mad at a family member, decided to extort them over the phone to punish them, any one of those police officers who were killed or injured in the line of duty could have and would have come to arrest you for that slip-up. That's why I don't feel sorry for any cop who dies and never will. A cop gets shot in a bad neighborhood. You might start feeling bad for him, and then you remember he could have busted you for smoking a joint, or busted you for speaking a line of words to someone that constitute extortion. And then you stop feeling sorry for the cop. If some institution, like a school or a workplace, wants to penalize you for something a blackmailer leaked to them about you, shoot them up. If you're a teenage girl and your boyfriend leaked nude pics of you online, and now the whole school is laughing at you, shoot up the fucking school or shoot the boyfriend. But it's despicable to put people in prison because they spoke certain words in a certain order to someone. And James gave this advice so casually in front of his sister. So James and Carmela went on playing in the snow together. They built a snowman. Here's the snowman they built. James put a carrot penis on the snowman, and then told Carmela that it would be funny if she sucked it. He convinced her, so she got down on her knees and sucked the snowman's carrot penis. James snapped a picture of that and threatened to post it on Facebook for all of Carmela's friends to see, unless she did something funny to prevent it. Carmela was in shock. She couldn't take the idea that everyone would be laughing at her for giving a blowjob to a snowman. James would erase the picture from his phone, only if Carmela slid down a frozen creek on a sled. So Carmela agreed and got on a sled and went down the frozen creek. Meanwhile, James was reminding people to shoot the police because they are so oppressive for forbidding people to extort each other. Carmela crashed through a window as she slid off a cliff, shattering it, landing inside the garage. The broken glass fucked up her face, making her fear her face won't be sexy anymore after this. James also convinced Carmela to take a dip in the frozen lake because the abuse of her body with cold water should arouse her. Carmela got out without being aroused and then fainted from hypothermia before getting back to the warm cabin. Why is it that horny people are sometimes told to take a cold shower? James wondered. If abuse of one's body by cold water sexually arouses you even more, how is it supposed to do the opposite? You get a boner from cold water. It's the hot water that doesn't give you a boner. Remember, kids, James Grider added, it's the politicians who wanted blackmail to be illegal most of all, so they passed laws against it. Why? Because every politician is always up to no good, and they don't want anyone having the incentive to go looking for skeletons in their closets. This is what I believe, and I did not verify my assumption is correct.